so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our session this afternoon entitled Industry 4.0 Thought Leadership Series on Future-Proofing Your Career. My name is Kyle C. Poblete, and I will be your host this afternoon. And I hope everyone is ready and excited for this jam-packed afternoon, for it will be filled with valuable insights for our attendees regarding the trends and changes in starting a career in CS, as CS, IS, and IT practitioners in the new normal.
Ano ba yung mga strengths and weaknesses natin when it comes to skill sets and stuff like that.
The first one is really, for me, is really our youth. Average age natin is actually just 24 sa country. And compared it to, say, for my industry, robotics, say Japan, mahilig ka sa robot, Japan is already around close to 50 yung average age nila sa Japan. So by the time yung mga grade 5, grade 6 students natin mag-graduate and in the workforce, retirement age na ng mga Hapon. Second one is really for our country, high literacy rates. Companies like Dyson is like the most innovative company in my mind. Are already putting up yung mga development nila dito. Yung pag-iimbento nila ng mga stuff dito, embedded systems. Yun nga, mabilis tayong kausap. Maganda yung accent natin, number one, and high literacy rate in the country.
The interest of our students today in these two fields, math and science, has significantly decreased. Wala nang gusto ngayong mag-aral ng math and science, okay? And if we don't have those basic foundations, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to really come up with very, very good coders, with very, very good robotics professionals, okay? And everything else, okay? Pag hindi mo na-develop yung critical thinking, do sa foundational years mo ng pag-aaral, okay, mahihirapan ka na. And that is where the Filipinos are actually assessed to be very, very weak. And that is actually going to be very, very important. And that is actually, when you go out in the workforce, in the real world, eto ngayon, that is actually going to give you the capacity to either fly very, very high or fly very, very low, okay?
How do we prepare our students for the future when we do not even know how the future will look like? Okay, we do not even know what the work will look like. So what I do is I focus on other things, no? On another thing. It's not just the skills, no? Because the skills, the tech skills, can be learned. Okay, we know that. But what's more important is to build character. It's to build attitudes. It's to build behavior. Okay.
What do you think the academe and the government can do to address this possible problem in the future?
May isang magaling at may isang hindi masyadong magaling. Sino kukunin nyo? And practically all of them will say, oh, syempre yung magaling. And I tell them, why? Why will you get the one that's already good? Eh, ang purpose ng OJT is to assist the schools to level up our training because to augment yung hindi namin maibigay, kailangan ibigay ng industry. So dapat ang kunin mo yung hindi masyadong magaling.
One of the things that we always say is, in the Philippines, we have our labor is relatively cheap. Okay? Actually, hindi. You know why? Because we need to retrain all of these kids who are fresh from college or universities, okay, in order for them to really, in order for us to be able to see the competencies na kailangan ng industry. Naiintindihan ko yung problema ng mga schools, okay? So who's going to pay for their salary where they're out? That is where I think we need government to come in, okay? Sila dapat ang magbabayad ng allowance sa mga teachers while they're not actually productively or they're not productive or not actually teaching there. Okay.
What are the specific skills na kailangan po natin in order to become a good IT practitioner?
I think yun, basta yung basic alam nila. And syempre, practice, no? Kailangan talaga nilang practice yun. Secondly, in terms of soft skills, for us, ang very important is yung communication. Not only yung communication na magaling sila mag-English, hindi yun eh. It's more of how you communicate to your managers para mapaintindi mo sila.
Well, personally ako, no, ang importante sa akin na skills would be critical thinking and analytical thinking. It's really more of the thought process, okay? Tama yung sabi ni Pangke, it's not really about, the communication is not the problem of the language. It's not about really English eh. But it's the way that they compose their thought and they are able to translate that into cohesive and understandable written or oral communication. That's what's important, okay?
Is it too late to catch up with the latest advancements in the tech sector, especially age and our prior knowledge is a factor? How do schools keep up with the changing technology trends?
The schools will not be able to answer that. Ang makakasagot lang dyan, ikaw. You have to be very, very inquisitive. You always have to be asking questions. Bakit ganito? Bakit ganon? Okay? Either to your bosses, to your peers, or more importantly, sa sarili mo. Because it is only by asking questions, okay, that you will actually open up the doors for learning.
Is web development going to be a safe path toward our future? Like, if we learn web programming now, safe ba kami for the next 10, 20 years? And how can we learn programming languages efficiently?
Kailangan nyo pa rin mag-aral pag-graduate. Kasi hindi ka dapat stuck up lang dun sa isang programming language. So eventually, mag-move up ka sa rank. Sometimes di ka na magpo-program, sometimes mag-design ka na. Kasi dun papunta yan sa managers. So for me, safe naman yun talaga. No? And yun lang, kailangan nyo lang mag-aral din pagkatapos ng nag-graduate na kayo. And para ma-enhance yung skills nyo, yun lang, practice lang, and kailangan maging hungry kayo dun sa technology at sa career na kukunin.
What's important for a programmer is to be able to have that ability to think well through a problem, design a workable solution, and then just convert that, no? Yung language is language, okay? It's just figuring out how you're going to express it in a particular set of words and syntax and semantics. So, but it's important that you know in your mind what it is that you want to do.